Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Hannibal, Season 2, Episode 11, Ko no Mono, my least favorite Beach Boys song. Or Ko no Mono, Bop Beep Badidi. Okay, anyway. Joining me today, as always, William Viviani and Ryan Turek. Whoa!
Well, before we start,
yes,
let's just say,
yes.
Yay, Season 3.
Yes,
Yay!
indeed.
We got a green light, folks.
Thank you, NBC, and whoever else is responsible for that. So yes, we're not stopping now.
We're going to keep doing this until they kick us off the internet. And this episode, by the way,
amazing.
We already did the applause. I was going to recommend a slow clap for this episode because honestly, this episode, they got me on this. Like I was the one who was saying, like, I'm pretty sure Freddie Lounds is alive. I'm pretty sure Freddie Lounds is alive. And then they did the whole Red Dragon Manhunter intro, and then the autopsy with their dental work and everything. And I'm like, they just fucking do this?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like,
they'll string you along until the very end, until a big reveal.
And it was very, very satisfying. I think if they had even waited one more episode, I would have cried foul. But like, this was exactly the right time to like just say, like, no, fuck it. There's a plan. There's a whole plan. Will isn't a murderer, sort of, kind of, not the kind we think. And it's awesome. I feel really satisfied. And I got my respect for Jack back. It's great.
Yeah, are we to assume now that Will is just wearing a wire to all these dinners? Is that the deal?
Because he's giving a lot. Hannibal's giving up a lot.
About when you killed all those
people. Talk about Abigail. Talk about this. Talk about that. And he's getting so much. But I think at this point, everybody who's in on this plan or whatever, I think that they're just going to trust Will at this point. The only one who's not part of it is Bloom.
And apparently now maybe is, or at least knows.
The last horse crosses the finish line. I feel like this entire episode, I feel like this entire...
Metaphoric.
It's a metaphor, but like, you know, the whole thing is Alana is so ingrained into believing Hannibal that they couldn't just tell her, because then she'd tell Hannibal, you know, they had to ease her into it. I feel like part of this episode was just, they must have been so frustrated. Like they're having like lunch at like a Subway or something like that. Yeah. Just like, oh my God, how are we going to get Alana in on this? I don't know, man. It's going to take a lot of manipulation.
Well, because there was that one scene where Hannibal and her are actually in the room together, in his office together, and he's like, or she says, you know, no matter where we go or what we're doing, we could be doing anything. We're thinking about Will. Well, he says that. Well, he says that. Thank you.
And I want to say, in the universe of this,
on YouTube can do it.
In the universe of the show, there are no subways. They're not lit well enough. The food is too quotidian.
I think they just want to make sure it's nowhere where they could possibly be fed human meat. Because there's a moment where Jack and Will, every once in a while, they're eating something when. Like even if Hannibal didn't make it, like they don't trust it anymore, like ever.
Actually, Brian Fuller had a quote when they were talking about the food design of the show, where he said something to the writers along the lines of, "I can't believe you're all not vegans after season 1."
Well, and the buntings in this one, the unholy bird dish that we're supposed to hide your face from God.
I will eat one of those.
Yeah,
I would totally.
You're not supposed to like carve up your mouth though. Like that's why you eat it with all the bones. It's supposed to like But
I love the fact that, you know, wearing a shroud to eat them to hide your face from God, it sets the tone for the rest of the theme for the rest of the show. Which is kind of about, you know, either whether there's the presence of God, whether there's the presence of a higher being in all of this madness that's occurring with Hannibal and Will, and, you know, Hannibal bringing up his sister finally.
Yes.
You know, Nisha, you know, talking a little bit about that. And
are they operating in concurrence with a god or in a world in which none exists?
Or is Hannibal creating his own gods? That's the real, and that's the thing. When Shiva shows up.
That whole deity that shows up. Can we talk about the grisly stuff that I really liked about this show?
Yes. Shiva, who is creator and destroyer, we are told twice in this episode.
In case he didn't get it.
But the revelation of that corpse in the graveyard, done up very Texas Chainsaw Massacre style, which I was very happy about. You know, and then what was the other bit? The dead ringers nods.
The red,
you know, with all red clothes.
Poor
Margot in this episode
too.
Man.
Everyone wondering, like, do the doctors involved, or do they like feel kind of bad about it, or are they just like evil doctors?
I think they're just well-paid doctors.
I'd say, I mean, probably just one is well-paid, and then he just tells the rest of them what the deal is or what they're going to do.
Here's my question. I have two questions about the Freddie Lounds gag, where, you know, there's the corpse that falls into the thing. One, whose corpse is that?
Well, probably one that they just got out of a morgue somewhere, some John Doe. They X-rayed its teeth, his teeth, put them in the Freddie Lounds file so that the coroner would be fooled.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And fair enough.
Yeah, because now that the curtain has split open, we're now able to see. I'm sure the mechanics of it all are a lot more. Are all covered.
I have to work backwards and look at all of Jack Crawford's reaction shots for the last 2 episodes.
The other thing is, there's that gag where the burning corpse in the wheelchair rolls down and into Freddie Lounds' parking spot, which is fun. Yeah. I like that very much.
Where does she have a parking spot?
Thank you. That's my question. It wasn't like in the original book and movie, he worked for a newspaper. Yeah. So they would have a parking spot. Every time we see her, she's blogging in a hotel room.
Bloggers don't get parking spots.
No,
let me tell you.
We really don't.
We usually work from home. We don't have an office.
So that's cute.
Bloggers are looking at cars half the time.
Yeah. I do like the idea that's how Freddie Lounds fake died, so that when we actually get to Red Dragon, it'll be sort of ironic. Like they'll just do the same thing over again. And it's just like, that's how we'll always die every time. And we'll find out that wasn't real and she'll die again, and Hannibal will be funny.
Now, how hard would it be not to attend your own funeral?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Especially for Freddie, who wants to be in on everything.
And
taking photos of her own funeral.
Maybe she got Will to have a spy glasses on or something like that, so she could see it from a distance. Like, it wasn't hugely attended. Was not hugely attended. This is very disappointing.
That's a blogger funeral, however. Yes, that is, they got that right.
setting aside the whole Freddie Lounds thing, Will's kid, man.
Oh, I know.
It's sad. Let's pour one out for Will's kid.
But good on Will for being for
taking it so well.
Well, no, but for at least tamping down his white hot rage enough at the last minute to realize. By the way, we've all been manipulated into this position, and I'm not going to do the thing that he wants me to do.
Well, he handles it. He handles this whole situation greatly in 2 ways. One, being told that he's going to have a child, and then he has that whole conversation with Hannibal about Abigail and so on, and he's ready. I think he's just ready to accept it. And I felt like that tender moments between Hannibal and Will, which he's talking about, fishing and Abigail and Hannibal going, I'm sorry I took that all away from you. That was probably one of my favorite moments of this series so far.
I think that's the best scene in the episode. I think it's one of the best scenes in the show. I agree. It's one of the few moments we've seen in Hannibal, if any, where Hannibal expresses vulnerability. He says, I'm sorry, and it looks like he means it.
It is at his most human, I think, that we've seen him.
And the scene has so many wonderful ups and downs and turns when they talk about Abigail, and where Will just instinctively says, I'll be a great father. Yeah. It's like, and then Hannibal's bemusement about how quickly we form attachment. Like this is the thing where we're looking at the long con that Will is playing. We're looking at how what he's really doing is getting Hannibal comfortable. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, they're getting
using
super
his ability
relaxed
to get into other people's heads to sort of say the things that make Hannibal think, I'm on your side, I agree with you, I see the world in the same way, whereas, obviously Hannibal, I think, looks at the world in a lot of ways as bugs on pins, And so you've got Will kind of ingratiating himself to that point of view to make Hannibal open up, and then talking to the flower.
We talk about Hannibal's humanity. This episode has one of my favorite Hannibal moments. Hannibal being Hannibal, and it's when Mason is in the chair, and he's like, "Please, come and sit down in the chair." And he gets up, and Mads' look is so. I rewound it 3 times just to watch it, give that jacket a look, and just go.
How
the pillow indentation.
Yeah.
God.
So
how
good.
great is Michael Pitt as Mason Verger? Like,
He's amazing.
He should be over the top. I mean, he is over the top, but like, he fits in this very subjective, weird universe they've created.
The richest man who cannot afford a comb.
No. And why would he?
He reminds me of like a cross between the Scarecrow from Nolan's universe and the Joker from Nolan's universe.
A little bit. A
little mix-up.
Did anyone notice? I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I thought there was a Young Frankenstein reference when he's talking to Margot, and they're next to the horse and everything. It's like, yeah, we're going to talk about the slaughterhouse, and then the horses go, like in the back of Fluka.
I did notice that, but I didn't think about it as a funny.
Yeah, no, he's great in this.
So good.
Yeah, the whole bit of talking about the pig and the prepping a pig and the happy pig situation. I was just cracking up.
Such a great episode on every level. Good companion piece to Legends of Oz, the Hugh Dancy movie that opened this weekend, where he plays a marshmallow who sings a love song to a China doll. I have the song.
Talk about this.
Just a heads up, we've been discussing this on Facebook chat for a little while now.
God, and if you haven't seen it, it's so good. He plays a marshmallow who has to obey the rules.
With a British accent, marshmallow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, that'll be new and different.
It's beautiful.
So next week, Will has 5 new dogs. Just a theory. Because his baby died. He's got, it's going to be back to
he's substituting a different child.
I could be wrong, but
that's funny.
All right, 2 more episodes. Holy crap, people. Join us next week.